Mesdames, Messieurs, bonsoir. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand for the entrance of the head table guests. Veuillez vous lever pour l'entrée des dignitaires. Merci. Thank you. Merci. Please be seated. Bonsoir encore une fois, mesdames, messieurs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering and Engineering Institute of Canada Honors and Fellowships Banquet. Je m'appelle Sylvie Bigras. Il me fait grand plaisir de partager cette soirée avec vous. Ce soir, nous allons souligner les exploits professionnels remarquables des lauréats, des ingénieurs de la Société canadienne de génie civil et de l'Institut canadien des ingénieurs. I would now like to invite to the podium the President of the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering, Randy Pickle, who will offer to you some words of welcome on behalf of the CSCE. Randy.
Thank you. I don't always make a memorable entrance. Certainly on behalf of CSCE, I'd like to welcome everybody tonight. And at this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce you to the dignitaries that are sitting at the CSCE table. First, my lovely companion, Debbie Morgan. Please stand. Next to her, President-elect of CSCE, Mr. Jim Kells, and his lovely wife, Marlene. Next to them, the Senior Vice President of CSCE, Mr. Yves Cadotte. Next to Yves, Jeff Batista's guest, Tracy Batista, sorry. One of the co-chairs of the conference, Mr. Jeff DiBattista. The other co-chair, Mr. Robert Driver. And the honorary chair of this convention, Mr. Ed Stalmack. As we are being nostalgic about the 125 years of CSCE, what you see on the screen is the invitation to that very first conference hosted by the mayor of the city of Montreal that welcomed those initial honorary civil engineers to come and join and dine with him that evening on their first meeting for CSCE. Now, I was able to find the menu from 1896, and it's probably not much different than what 1887 was. But you can see it's probably not much different than what we're enjoying tonight. There will be music, there will be toasts. The food may be a little different, but certainly it's going to be a night to enjoy and remember and enjoy the camaraderie of those at the table, and certainly enjoy the honorary and the distinguishing of members that are receiving awards tonight. So That, on behalf of myself, enjoy the evening and enjoy your dinner.
Merci beaucoup, Randy. Thank you very much. You're right, that was a grand entrance, but you recovered beautifully. Alors, nous allons maintenant continuer avec la présidente élue de l'Institut canadien des ingénieurs. Please welcome Jean Su, the president-elect of the Engineering Institute of Canada, who will offer words of welcome on behalf of the EIC.
Thank you. I'm pleased to represent the EIC at this joint celebration with the CSCE for 125 years of the organization. The society is getting stronger and stronger over the past 125 years. Congratulations to the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering for staging this successful event and a huge crowd at this banquet. I was told 700 people are here. Now, I would like to introduce to you 5 notable dignitaries who are here representing the EIC. For those of you that I call your name, would you please stand up? First, Keith Brown. Keith Brown, yes. President of IEEE. Brian Watts, President of Canadian Geotechnical Society. Eric Wilkin, President of Canadian Nuclear Society. Next, Carrie Rowe, who is the recipient of Kennedy Medal for tonight. So finally, Norbert Morgenstern, who was the recipient of Kennedy Medal in 2003. Thank you. Wish tonight a wonderful event. Bye.
Thank you very much, Jean. And now, before we begin dinner, I'd like to invite to the podium the president-elect of the CSCE, Mr. Yves Cadotte. Il se joint à nous ce soir pour nous offrir un toast, et aussi, Mr. Cadotte will be offering grace. Ladies and gentlemen, Yves Cadotte.
Bonsoir. Je suis très heureux d'être parmi vous ce soir à cet événement qui, j'en suis sûr, sera très mémorable. So I'm very pleased to be with you tonight. So I invite you to have a thought for the civil engineers who built, and a toast to the ones who are building currently this country in a sustainable way. So have a toast. Cheers. Thank you.
We're going to be splitting our award presentations in 2 halves. We're going to have now the CSCE award presentations. Then we're going to take a break for dinner. And then after dinner, we'll do the EIC award presentations. So the process will be as follows. We will be calling you up in groups. And when you are called up, if you can come to the left of the stage. And then individually, you'll be called up. Stand in the center. There'll be a formal photo. We do ask, many of you might want to take photos. There are family members, colleagues, friends, etc. We ask our award recipients to exit to the right here, and you can take photos to your heart's content on this side of the stage. Now I'd like to start by inviting Lloyd Waugh, the chair of the CSC Honours and Fellowships Committee, as well as Alistair McKenzie, a member of the committee, to come forward for the CSCE award presentations. And we will also be inviting Randy Pickle, the president of the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering, to come forward. And Randy, I understand, has given up scotch. He had some scotch outside with the piper. This is true. And now understands that it's not a good idea. He was the one paying the piper, and he paid. Thank you, Randy. All right, gentlemen, over to you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the CSCE's 2012 Awards Ceremony. It is a great pleasure for me, the Honors and Fellowships Committee, and the Society to have this opportunity to honor those of our members who have distinguished themselves in their profession, in their publications, and in their projects. We are pleased to share this banquet with our EIC sisters this year, or brothers. In addition to Sylvie Bigras and Alistair McKenzie, Mike Ursha will be assisting us with the slides. So Randy, you're already here. I guess we're ready to go. Our procedure for conferring awards is to invite to the front of the room, and I mean, as Sylvie has mentioned, to my right or your left, groups of several at a time, those recipients who are present at the banquet. So unfortunately, there are some people who receive awards and are unable to attend the banquet. At your table, you'll find copies of the CSCE Awards booklet, which has much more detail on the recipients than we're going to be giving from the stage. We generally follow the order of the booklet, however, there is one exception this year. We will start with the conferring of 2 fellowships. Subsequently, we'll confer 5 career awards, 4 Best Paper awards, and then 1 project award. Alistair will now begin with the fellowships.
I invite Christos Katopodis and Brian Pierce to come forward, please. Christos Katopodis is a professional engineer, international consultant, and adjunct professor.
Il a co-conseillé des étudiants de 2e cycle en ingénierie et en biologie dans plusieurs universités du Canada et d'autres pays depuis 1990.
He pioneered several eco-hydraulic concepts through interdisciplinary research and applications for river restoration, fish passage, and environmental flow regimes for ice-free and ice-covered conditions. Results from his research are used worldwide. Mr. President, please welcome Christos Katopodis as a Fellow of the Society. For Charles Weir, unfortunately, though Charlie would like to be here with us this evening, he is unable to attend for health reasons. His colleague, Brian Pierce, current CEO of the Stuart Weir Group, is here to receive the fellowship on Charlie's behalf. Charlie Weir is credited with building the engineering and transportation arms of Stuart Weir and Company. He graduated from the University of Alberta in 1950 with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering. He earned his Alberta Land Surveyor Commission in 1951, became a partner in the company in 1952, and remained a senior partner from 1983 to 1990, during which time he was the company's first CEO.
Charles Weir était véritablement le roi du corridor, comme il fut surnommé dans un article de la publication Alberta Innovators. Les corridors de réseaux techniques urbains étaient sa spécialité. Et pendant qu'il était au sein de la compagnie, il a dirigé plusieurs projets de corridors importants, dont l'étude du corridor Athabasca-Tar Sands et l'étude des routes secondaires.
Over the course of his career, Mr. Weir made significant contributions to numerous professional and community organizations, including the Alberta Land Surveyors Association, the Canada Land Surveyors, APEGA, and the International Federation of Surveyors, in which he was active for 16 years and served as president from 1985 to 1987. Mr. President, please welcome Charles Henry Weir as a Fellow of the Society.
And now for the Career Awards. I invite Janika Ruanpura, Nimi Banthia, Greg Lawrence, Gani Razakpour, and Sherry Sparks to come forward, please. The Walter Shanley Award is presented annually to a member of the CSCE who has made outstanding contributions to the development and practice of construction engineering in Canada. A former Fulbright scholar, Dr. Ruanpura is a professor and the Canada Research Chair in Project Management Systems and the Director of the Centre for Project Management Excellence in the Schulich School of Engineering at the University of Calgary. He earned his Bachelor of Science from the University of Moratura, Sri Lanka, a Master of Science in Construction Management from Arizona State University, and a PhD in Construction Engineering and Management from the University of Alberta.
Récemment, il a reçu un prix prestigieux de partenariat de l'industrie de l'Association de la construction de Calgary pour le développement d'un grand nombre de meilleures pratiques et d'outils dans l'industrie canadienne de la construction dans le cadre de ses recherches sur l'amélioration de la productivité dans la construction.
His other research areas are project planning, risk management, decision analysis, and sustainability. He has been recognized with many awards for teaching, research, service, graduate education, and internationalization at the University of Calgary. Mr. President, please welcome Dr. Janika Ruanpura as the recipient of the Walter Shanley Award for 2012. The Horst Leipold Medal recognizes outstanding contributions by a civil engineer to engineering mechanics research and/or practice in Canada. Dr. Nimi Banthia is a professor, distinguished university scholar, and a Canada Research Chair at the University of British Columbia.
Il siège à 8 conseils de rédaction de revues internationales et a reçu un grand nombre de prix, dont le prix W.G. Hislop du chapitre de la Colombie-Britannique de l'Institut américain du béton, 4 prix de la meilleure communication, la médaille Watson de l'Institut américain de béton international, le prix Solutions par la recherche du Conseil de l'innovation de la Colombie-Britannique, le prix du mérite Wolfson de la Société royale du Royaume-Uni et le prix du chercheur distingué de l'Université nationale de Séoul et de l'Institut du béton de la Corée.
He is a fellow of the American Concrete Institute, the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering, the Indian Concrete Institute, the Canadian Academy of Engineering, and the Royal Society of Canada. Mr. President, please welcome Dr. Nimi Banthia as the recipient of the Horst Leipold Medal for 2012.
The Camille Dagenet Award recognizes those who have made outstanding contributions to the development and practice of hydrotechnical engineering in Canada. Dr. Greg Lawrence is a professor and Canada Research Chair at the University of British Columbia. He obtained his bachelor's degree in civil engineering from the University of Western Australia and MS and PhD degrees in hydraulic engineering from the University of California, Berkeley.
Il est bien connu pour son travail sur la mécanique des fluides environnementaux, en particulier l'instabilité et le mélange de flux de cisaillement stratifiés par densité, l'hydraulique à 2 couches et la limnologie physique des réservoirs, des lacs, des bassins de résidus et des puits de mines remplis d'eau.
He has also collaborated with cosmologists on the analogy between open channel hydraulics and the physics of black holes. Ooh. He has served on the Board of Governors of the University of British Columbia and the editorial board of the Journal of Hydraulic Engineering. Mr. President, please welcome Dr. Greg Lawrence as the recipient of the Camille A. Dagenet Award for 2012.
The A.B. Sanderson Award is presented to a member of CSCE who has made outstanding contributions to the development and practice of structural engineering in Canada. Dr. Gani Razakpour, a former president of the CSCE, obtained his Bachelor of Engineering from the American University of Beirut and his Master of Science from the University of Hawaii and his PhD from the University of Calgary.
En 1983, il s'est joint à l'Université Carleton à Ottawa, au sein de laquelle il fut directeur du génie civil et vice-doyen des études et de la recherche du deuxième cycle. En 2005, il est passé à l'Université McMaster au poste de directeur du Centre de la conception effective et directeur du génie civil.
Through original research, he has made outstanding contributions to design standards and has published over 200 research articles in international journals and conferences. He serves as chair of the technical committees of 2 Canadian standards and on editorial boards of 2 international journals. Mr. President, please welcome Dr. Gani Razakpour as the recipient of the A.B. Sanderson Award for 2012.
James A. Vance Award. The James A. Vance Award is granted to a CSCE member whose dedicated service has furthered the advancement of the Society. Sherry Sparks is the City of Moncton, New Brunswick's first female Director of Building Inspection. She was also the first woman project engineer for Marine Atlantic and the first woman regional engineer for the New Brunswick Department of Supply and Services.
Sherry a été vice-présidente de la région atlantique de la SCGC et présidente des ingénieurs et géoscientifiques du Nouveau-Brunswick. Elle est la première femme à être nommée présidente de l'Association des officiels de la construction du Nouveau-Brunswick.
Her high-profile career focuses on one key issue, the advocacy of women's involvement in the engineering profession. She is an inspiration for the next generation of women looking for a rewarding career and a way to improve the lives of their fellow citizens. Mr. President, please welcome Sherry Sparks as the recipient of the James A. Vance Award for 2012.
And now for 3 Best Paper Awards. I invite the following people to come forward, please. If you're in attendance. If you're not, you don't need to come forward. Sang-Yoon Lee and Amina Robinson-Fayek, Reed Coughlin and Scott Walbridge, Alina Nutta, Konstantina Christopoulos, and Jeffrey Packer. The paper awards are designated as being 2011 awards since they are selected from papers published in 2011. Also note that the full abstract and reference is available in the CSCE Honors and Awards booklet. The first award. The Donald R. Stanley Award is given for the best paper on a civil engineering subject in the area of environmental engineering. The 2011 Donald R. Stanley Award is granted to Beatrice Young, Brian Tolson, and Donald Byrne. Please come up to the stage.
Et le titre de leur travail est le suivant. Their paper is entitled Risk Assessment of a Water Supply System Under Climate Variability, a Stochastic Approach, and is published in the Canadian Journal of Civil Engineering.
Mr. President, please welcome Beatrice Young, Brian Tolson, and Donald Byrne as the recipients of the Donald R. Stanley Award for 2011.
The Stephen G. Rive Award is given for the best paper in the areas of construction engineering, construction management, or project management. The 2011 Stephen G. Rive Award is granted to Mahdi Saleh Sichani, Sang Hoon Lee, and Amina Robinson Fayek.
Et le titre de leur travail est le suivant. Their paper is entitled Understanding Construction Workforce Absenteeism in Industrial Construction, and is published in the Canadian Journal of Civil Engineering.
Mr. President, please welcome Mahdi Saleh Sichani, San Hung Lee, and Amina Robinson Fayek as the recipients of the Stephen G. Rive Award for 2011.
The P.L. Prattley Award is given annually for the best paper on bridge engineering. The 2011 P.L. Prattley Award is granted to Reed Coughlin and Scott Walbridge.
Le titre de leur travail est le suivant. The paper is entitled Fatigue Correction Factors for Welded Aluminum Highway Structures, and is published in the Canadian Journal of Civil Engineering.
Mr. President, please welcome Reed Coughlin and Scott Walbridge as the recipients of the P.L. Prattley Award for 2011.
The Kazimierz Zoski Medal is awarded annually for the best paper on a civil engineering subject in the area of surveying, structural engineering, and heavy construction. The 2011 Kazimierz Zoski Medal is awarded to Elena Nutter, Konstantin Christopoulos, and Jeffrey Packer.
Et le titre de leur travail est le suivant. The paper is entitled Methodology for Seismic Risk Assessment for Tubular Steel Wind Turbine Towers, Application to Canadian Seismic Environment, and is published in the Canadian Journal of Civil Engineering.
Mr. President, please welcome Elena Nutter, Konstantin Christopoulos, and Jeffrey Packer as the recipients of the Kazimierz Zoski Medal for 2011.
And our next award is the Project Award. Nous allons maintenant continuer avec le prix Projet. And I'd like to invite forward the President or the Chair of the Committee for the Governmental Leadership in Sustainable Infrastructure Award. Voici le Président du Comité pour le prix du leadership gouvernemental en matière d'infrastructure durable, M. Guy Felliot.
Merci. Established in 2011, and now being given for the first time, the Governmental Leadership in Sustainable Infrastructure Award recognizes the leadership role that governments play as a custodian of public infrastructure. As this is the first award, I'd like to thank the members of the selection committee, Martin Gordon, Matthew Hoff, Catherine Mulligan, and Harvey Mead. We had a difficult time to choose the winner. We had excellent submissions, and it was a very difficult decision. But this is not the only first for this award. I'd like to also mention that the award itself was the subject of a competition. And 2 judges were involved in selecting an original piece of art. The judges that are present in the room, and I'll ask them to stand up for your acknowledgement, were Kate Buxley, a young artist from Montreal, and Ryan Doherty, curator of the Southern Alberta Art Gallery. So please help me thank them for their work. The piece of art that is right behind me is the winner, and we also have the opportunity to thank her for her work. Her name is Taryn Kneteman. Please. And I would like to invite Taryn to join our president here on stage for this award. The award for governmental leadership in sustainable infrastructure for 2012 is granted to the City of Edmonton for their risk-based infrastructure management system, leadership, innovation, and sustainability at work. To enable the city to better prioritize its investments needs, Edmonton participated with SMA Consultant to develop the risk-based infrastructure management system.
Innovant et sophistiqué, l'outil d'aide à la prise de décision indique à la Ville le coût de l'entretien de ses infrastructures à un niveau de performance et de risque spécifique et comment allouer les fonds disponibles à chaque infrastructure pour une meilleure performance tout en maintenant un niveau de risque satisfaisant.
I would like to invite Conrad Sue, Philip Alex, Bradley Lehman from the City of Edmonton, and Simon Abarisk and Hossein Albatane from CMA Consultant to come forward, please. The ability to assign available funding to infrastructure needs allows the City of Edmonton to more effectively manage its $37.5 billion worth of infrastructure assets and to invest limited capital dollars on projects with the highest priorities. Mr. President, please recognize the City of Edmonton as the 2012 recipient for the Award for Governmental Leadership in Sustainable Infrastructure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you now to join me in congratulating the new CSCE Fellows and Award recipients. That concludes the conferring of Canadian Society for Civil Engineering Awards. I now turn the proceedings back over to Sylvie.
Thank you very much, Lloyd, and congratulations to you, Lloyd Waugh, Chair of the CSCE Honours and Awards Committee, as well as Alistair McKenzie, Member of the Committee, and of course, President of the CSCE, Randy Pickle. Thank you, gentlemen, for all of your work in conferring these awards, and of course, all of the difficult decisions made in selecting the recipients tonight. Alors, maintenant, c'est le temps de manger, mesdames, messieurs. It's time for our main course. Bon appétit. We'll see you in a while. Alors, bonsoir, mesdames, messieurs. Nous allons maintenant recontinuer le programme de présentation des prix. Please welcome, representing the EIC Engineering Institute of Canada Awards and Honors Committee, the Chair, Dan Burns, and member of the committee, George Akras. If you'd like to come forward, gentlemen. Thank you. I would also invite EIC President-elect Jean Su to come forward for the presentations. So Chairman Dan, you can take it away.
Thank you, Sylvie, and a warm welcome to you to Alberta and to the city of Edmonton, the city of champions. And you're hearing that from a Calgarian, by the way. And tonight, of course, we're honoring many champions in engineering. You've met many of them a few minutes ago, and we will continue now with the EIC Awards. We're going to invite the new EIC Fellows first. There are 9 in attendance this evening, to the front in groups of 3, as we did with the CSCE. And we'll start with the following: Mohammed Hesham El Nagar, Ying Chai Han, and Amin Kudai. And I would ask that they stand here at the front. Since 1963, the Council of the Institute has elected annually to the grade of Fellow a number of engineers in recognition of their excellence in engineering and their services to the profession. And I'd ask that Mohammed Hesham El Nagar come forward. Nominated by the Canadian Geotechnical Society for fellowship in the EIC is Hesham El Nagar. Mohammed Hesham El Nagar is a professor of civil engineering and associate dean, research and graduate studies in the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Western Ontario. His work in the fields of shallow and deep foundation design, seismic design, and the design of foundations for vibrating equipment has impacted knowledge and practice in these fields.
Mohammed Hesham El Nagar est reconnu au niveau national et international pour sa compétence dans le domaine des pieux. Dans l'analyse et la conception des fondations sur pieux, il a mis au point une démarche permettant de prévoir la capacité portante des pieux en utilisant l'essai en charge statnamique, qui est en voie de devenir une méthode d'essai reconnue à travers le monde.
For his many advancements and contributions in advancing the state of knowledge, his many contributions to learned societies, his close liaison with industry, and his dedication to teaching, we are pleased tonight to bestow this honor. Ladies and gentlemen, and Madame President-elect, please welcome Mohammed Hesham El Nagar as a Fellow of the Engineering Institute of Canada. Nominated for EIC Fellowship by the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering is Ying Chai Han, so I would invite Ying Chai to come forward. Ying Chai Han is a technical director and senior fellow at Fluor Canada in Vancouver. A structural engineer and researcher in the field of soil dynamics and earthquake engineering, he proposed a boundary zone model with non-reflective interface to improve the plane strain model for soil pile systems. With such a model, the nonlinear properties of soil can be accounted for and computer applications can be developed for design applications.
Ying Chai Han a appliqué à la pratique une théorie avancée et créé des solutions efficaces aux problèmes techniques en matière de conception dynamique et sismique. Il a réglé des problèmes reliés à l'interaction sol-pieux égale charpente dans de nombreux projets dans les industries pétrolières, gazières et minières.
We are honored this evening to recognize Ying Chai Han's many contributions to structural design in the energy industry in Canada. So, ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, please welcome Ying Chai Han as a Fellow of the Engineering Institute of Canada.
Amin Kudai, nominated by the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering. Amin Kudai is Senior Vice President and General Manager, Road Transportation, Montreal, Division at SNC-Lavalin. Responsible for innovative work on major infrastructure projects for 38 years, Amin has participated in and managed the inspection, design, and supervision and assessment of several hundred bridges of all types.
Au fil de sa carrière, Amin Kudai a été directeur de projet pour plusieurs importants chantiers exigeant des connaissances poussées des normes et méthodes pour la réalisation de projets multidisciplinaires comme l'échangeur Turcot, 2 milliards de dollars, et le réaménagement de l'échangeur d'Orval à Montréal. Il a également dirigé d'importantes études de faisabilité pour d'importants ponts, comme le pont suspendu au-dessus du Saguenay et le remplacement du tablier du pont Jacques-Cartier.
Tonight, we are pleased to recognize Amin Kudai's achievements, the field of engineering, contracting, and consulting. Ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, please welcome Amin Kudai as a Fellow of the Engineering Institute of Canada.
I would now like to invite forward our next group of three, Horatio Marquez, Raj Rajaratnam, and Farokh Sassani. And I invite Horatio Marquez to come forward. He has been nominated for EIC Fellowship by IEEE Canada. Horatio Marquez is a professor and chair of electrical and computer engineering at the University of Alberta. He is an expert in control systems, having made seminal contributions to robust control, multi-rate nonlinear control, and filter and observer design for nonlinear dynamical systems. Take that, you civil engineers. Horatio's achievements have made an impact in the oil and gas industry in northern Alberta, where his designs are routinely employed to detect faults in industrial systems.
Horacio Marquez est un professeur dévoué et agit comme mentor pour de jeunes ingénieurs. C'est un chercheur prolifique qui a signé 81 articles de revue et 63 communications, ainsi qu'un ouvrage sur la théorie du contrôle non linéaire.
This evening, we are pleased to honor this talented and dedicated teacher, researcher, and engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, and Madame President-elect, please welcome Horatio Marquez as a Fellow of the Engineering Institute of Canada.
Nalamatu Raj Rajaratnam, nominated by the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering. Raj Rajaratnam is Emeritus Professor, Water Resources Engineering in the Department of Civil Engineering at the University of Alberta. As a devoted teacher and researcher at the U of A over a span of 46 years, 46 years, he has imbued a love and passion for hydraulics into all his undergraduate and graduate students.
Raj Rajaratnam est un chercheur prolifique dans les domaines suivants: l'hydraulique des passes à poissons, les structures des habitats dans les rivières, l'érosion attribuable aux jets, les évacuateurs par étapes et le mélange des jets dans les rivières peu profondes. Il a préparé des monographies sur des sujets comme les égouts, les entrées des bassins récepteurs des égouts pluviaux et sauts hydrauliques dans les égouts de gros diamètre.
Raj is a fellow of the CSCE and the ASCE, and tonight the EIC is honored to confer this much-deserved accolade. Ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect. Please welcome Rajanatnam as a Fellow of the Engineering Institute of Canada.
Nominated for EIC Fellowship by the Canadian Society for Mechanical Engineering is Farouk Sassani. Farouk Sassani is a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering at the University of British Columbia. An excellent teacher, a successful researcher, an inspiring mentor, and enthusiastic administrator, Farouk has been an active member of the engineering community and UBC for 30 years.
Farouk Sassani a fait d'importantes contributions à la modélisation et à la simulation systémique, à la conception de machines et à l'automatisation et à la détection et au diagnostic des anomalies. Il a été un pionnier dans la création et la construction de plusieurs systèmes novateurs pour diverses applications industrielles, dont la modélisation et l'analyse des manipulateurs hydrauliques.
He stole my notes. Sorry, Farouk.
You continue. You're doing
active with the British Columbia chapter of ASME and the International Institute of Manufacturing in the UK, Farouk is also a fellow of the ASME and a fellow of the Institute of Manufacturing, and tonight we are pleased to confer. Oh my God, that's scary. Whoa. And tonight, we are pleased to confer these honors upon a worthy recipient. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still impressed with this picture. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, please welcome Farouk Sassani as a Fellow of Engineering Institute of Canada.
Sorry, George, it's my turn now. Okay. And now we'll invite the last group of three in our alphabetical order. I would invite Brent Edwin Sleep, Doug Stead, and Mingjuan Zhuo to come to the front. Nominated by the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering, Brent Edwin Sleep, is Brent Edwin Sleep. Brent Sleep is a professor and associate chair of research in the Department of Civil Engineering at the University of Toronto. He is internationally recognized for his research on remediation of contaminated soil and groundwater, as well as pathogen transport in the subsurface. A leading authority on the use of thermal methods for soil and groundwater remediation, Brent has provided expert advice to several companies looking to employ thermal radiation methods.
Brent Sleep a fait des contributions exceptionnelles dans d'importantes publications sur les ressources hydriques et par sa participation active à d'importants comités. Il est présentement rédacteur en chef du Journal of Contaminant Hydrology et co-rédacteur de Advances in Water Resources.
For his innovative and thoughtful research, his counsel to colleagues and industry, and for his wise and caring supervision of his students, we now pay tribute to Brent with these honors. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, please welcome Brent Edwin Sleep as a Fellow of the Engineering Institute of Canada.
Doug Stead, nominated by the Canadian Geotechnical Society. Doug Stead, professor and FRBC Endowed Chair in Resource Geotechnics at Simon Fraser University, is recognized as an excellent scholar, educator, and engineer. His influence on geomechanics and geological engineering is wide-reaching and broad. He has worked on issues associated with the geomechanics of surface and underground mining, as well as stable natural slopes.
Il possède une capacité exceptionnelle pour comprendre l'histoire géologique et le cadre d'un lieu précis, notamment en appliquant des technologies émergentes novatrices créées pour d'autres industries afin de recueillir des renseignements importants. Plusieurs de ces communications apparaissent dans des listes de lecture recommandées aux étudiants du 3e cycle au pays.
Doug's impressive contributions and achievements have made him one of the most influential professionals in engineering, geology, and rock engineering in Canada. He is a past Vice President Technical of CGS and past President of the Canadian Geoscience Council, and is the worthy recipient of several honors from Golder Associate, the CGS, and the University of Saskatchewan. Ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, please welcome Doug Steed as a Fellow of the Engineering Institute of Canada.
Nominated for EIC Fellowship by IEEE Canada is Ming-Juan Zhuo. Ming Zhuo is a professor of mechanical engineering at the University of Alberta. He has made fundamental contributions to the field of reliability, specifically in system reliability modeling, condition monitoring, and prognosis and health management of engineering systems. He is an internationally recognized leading expert in reliability engineering.
Ming Zhuo est à la source d'idées nouvelles et efficaces en matière de fiabilité des systèmes d'ingénierie. Il a beaucoup publié dans les meilleures publications internationales et dans les actes d'influents congrès. En outre, il a joué un rôle important pour sa profession à titre de directeur de grandes publications techniques et d'actes d'importants de congrès.
Ming Zhuo's achievements have garnered him several prestigious awards, and we are pleased to have the opportunity this evening to add to them with the distinguished honor we now confer. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, please welcome Ming-Juan Zhuo as a Fellow of the Engineering Institute of Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the conferring of EIC fellowships. And to conclude, we have 3 distinguished medals that we are going to confer, and we will do those one at a time. And I would start with the John B. Sterling Medal, and I would ask Derek Martin to come forward. He's been nominated by the Canadian Geotechnical Society for this medal. The John B. Sterling Medal is awarded by the Council of the Institute in recognition of leadership and distinguished service at the national level within the Institute and/or its member societies. Derek Martin, professor at the University of Alberta, has over 30 years of experience in the design and construction of surface and underground rock excavations. His many publications are recognized as forming important contributions to our state of knowledge by clarifying the failure processes of rock masses. This work has led directly to improvements in underground rock excavations. Over the past 10 years, Derek has led the research for the Canadian Railway Ground Hazard Research Program, a national initiative to support Canada's Class 1 railways. He currently serves as the director of the Canadian Rail Research Lab.
Derek Martin est spécialisé en mécanique des roches et notamment dans les problèmes d'élimination de déchets nucléaires. Il a été conseiller dans le domaine de la gestion des déchets nucléaires et fournit des conseils scientifiques pour des programmes à travers le monde.
An exceptional educator and lecturer, Derek has served learned societies in many senior roles. Tonight we recognize him for his many contributions to the world of academia, the engineering profession, and its learned organizations, a most deserving and distinguished recipient of the honor we now confer. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, as the recipient of the John B. Sterling Medal, please welcome Derek Martin.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, it is indeed an honor to be recognized by one's peers, and I sincerely thank the Canadian Geotechnical Society for the nomination and the EIC for the John B. Sterling Medal. My journey to this podium was made possible by many people. Growing up in an outport in Newfoundland, mainland Canada was nowhere on my horizon. However, like many things in life, circumstances change, and my wife Peggy, who's sitting over here, and I ended up in Edmonton in May in 1976. In those past 36 years, we've lived here about a third of that time, and the most formative of those years were at the University of Alberta. First as a student, when my now colleagues, who are also here, gave a young construction engineering geologist an opportunity to attend grad school in one of the best geotechnical engineering programs in Canada. That was truly a game changer in my career, and today I am a professor in that same group, and I still ponder, how did it all happen? It happened because of the support I had from colleagues, and most of all the support I had from Peggy and our daughter Nancy. I started grad program at the University of Alberta on January 7th, 1982, and our daughter Nancy was born December the 10th. Peggy stayed behind in Fort St. John with our newborn daughter, and I headed off to school. It was one of the coldest Januaries on record. And at the end of January, I managed to get Nancy and Peggy to Edmonton, which was equally as cold as Fort St. John, but far fewer friends and support. I worked 12-hour days, and Peggy and Nancy survived until early spring and promptly left for Vancouver. As you grow in your career, rewards come in various forms. For me, the best reward has been the friends I've made along the way. Many of these friends and colleagues are in the Canadian Geotechnical Society, and over the years I've had various roles in the society, and the small part that I have had in shaping the society has been particularly rewarding. To see success of the society, the many young active members, vibrant annual meetings, it truly makes one proud to be a member. And the John B. Sterling Medal will be a constant reminder of the important role active societies can play in defining our discipline. Merci beaucoup.
Congratulations again, Derek. I would ask Fred Mattich, pardon me, to come forward. Fred has been nominated by the Canadian Geotechnical Society for the Julian C. Smith Medal. This medal is awarded by the Council of the Institute in recognition of achievement in the development of Canada.
Since his arrival in Canada in the mid-50s, Fred Mattich has made enormous contributions to the development of geotechnical engineering in Canada and internationally. He played a major role in pioneering geotechnical engineering consultancy in Eastern Canada, and his exceptional service continues today with his own geotechnical consulting practice. Fred has worked on several research, technical, and standards committees, and has been involved in countless mining development projects in Canada and abroad.
Fred Mattich était aussi spécialiste conseil du Oil Sands Geotechnical Review Board, où il était responsable de l'étude des opérations délicates du point de vue géotechnique. Il s'est occupé de nombreux projets au Canada et dans l'Arctique, où sa compétence a grandement profité au développement de nos richesses naturelles.
The recipient of several distinguished awards from the CGS and Professional Engineers Ontario, Fred has also given back to the community with his time and talents to assist those in need. Tonight, we are pleased to salute a talented engineer for a career distinguished by so many accomplishments in the development of Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, as the recipient of the Julian C. Smith Medal, please welcome Fred Mattich.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, I too wish to thank very much the Canadian Geotechnical Society and the Engineering Institute of Canada for honoring me with this award. I'm deeply appreciative of my colleagues in the Canadian Geotechnical Society and perhaps others for nominating me, and I think that some of them at least are present this evening. I'd like to thank them personally and directly. A very special thanks to my wife Helen for her tremendous support in looking after the home front, so to speak, for now somewhat over 50 years of married life. I'm pleased that Helen and our two sons, Matt and Mike, can be present on this occasion. Through a fortunate series of circumstances, my career began at a time when geotechnical engineering in Canada was undergoing significant development. In addition, it began with a large organization, at least then, the Foundation Company of Canada, which had operations Canada-wide and also internationally. I thus had the rare opportunity to work on projects all across Canada, including its marine and Arctic regions, which you've heard some about already, and to see many parts of this great country firsthand. More importantly, I had the opportunity to meet and work closely with Canadians in all walks of life, members of the geotechnical profession, of course, but also to be monitored by mature, experienced engineers on the one hand, and kept current by younger colleagues beginning their careers. In the early days, at least, in Geocon, which I was associated with, it was practice for young engineers, geotechnical engineers, to spend several years initially in the field. This brought together as a team the hitherto unusual combination of young engineers fresh from university and experienced, hardened geotechnical drill operators who were experts in their own right. It was a very rewarding experience for me to be part of such teams. It is not possible at this time to acknowledge individually all of the people who have assisted me along the way, so I acknowledge them collectively and with gratitude. Comme je l'ai déjà mentionné, j'ai eu l'occasion rare de travailler partout au Canada, en commençant dans la province de Québec. Les projets comprenaient les régions arctiques et les zones marines du Canada. Dans les processus, j'ai eu le privilège de travailler étroitement avec des personnes dans de nombreux domaines de vie, ce qui m'a beaucoup aidé. Je tiens à remercier en particulier les foreurs géotechniques qui ont été mes compagnons sur les projets de terrain dans les premières années de ma carrière. In closing, I would like to acknowledge the privilege also of working for many years on assignments relating to development of the oil sands, and you've heard a bit about that already, and particularly the Syncrude Canada Limited project, where my involvement began in June 1962, almost 50 years ago to the day. And one of the photos in the canoe you saw earlier showed in the fall of 1962, 3 of us on reconnaissance on the Athabasca River, which included the late Dr. Bob Quigley and Dr. John Brown. It was a memorable experience, as you might imagine, with its opportunity to work initially with some of the elder statesmen and workers at pioneer level on the Syncrude project, and later with Syncrude's prominent technical groups and its geotechnical review board, including pioneers on the board, such as the late Dr. R.M. Hardy, Dr. Norbert Morgenstern, who's here this evening, and others such as Professor C.O. Bronner, Chuck Bronner, geologist Don Pollock, Dr. David Devaney, and Dr. Alma Brooker. Thank you for your attention.
Congratulations again, Fred Medich. And now for the final award of the evening, I would like to invite Ronald Carey Rowe forward, who is the recipient of the Sir John Kennedy Medal and nominated by the Canadian Geotechnical Society. The Sir John Kennedy Medal is awarded by the Council of the Institute in recognition of outstanding services rendered to the engineering profession or of noteworthy contributions to the science of engineering or to the benefit of the Institute. Carey Rowe is Professor and Canada Research Chair in Geotechnical and Geoenvironmental Engineering at Queen's University. He is known for his seminal and outstanding contributions to the engineering science and practice of geoengineering. Carey has led international research efforts in both geosynthetics and landfill engineering, transforming practice in Canada to the highest level internationally, and reaching across boundaries to guide the development and implementation of engineering science on these topics in many countries.
Ces extraordinaires contributions professionnelles incluent la formation de nombreux experts techniques de haut niveau, son leadership en tant que président de la Société canadienne de géotechnique et de l'Institut canadien des ingénieurs et son travail de très grands chercheurs au pays.
Carey Rowe has been recognized with the highest honors for geotechnical engineering scholarship internationally with the Rankin Lecture, for engineering in Canada, the Killam Prize, and beyond as an international fellow of the Royal Academy of Engineering. Tonight, we take great pride in honoring this distinguished Canadian engineer, researcher, and teacher with the Institute's most senior honor. And so, ladies and gentlemen, and Madam President-elect, as the recipient of the Sir John Kennedy Medal, please welcome Carey Rowe.
Madam President-elect, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor to have been selected for this very distinguished award. I'd like to thank the Canadian Geotechnical Society and my nominators, and the Engineering Institute of Canada for making this award to me. It's indeed very humbling to be added to a list of some of Canada's truly outstanding engineers who've been previous winners of this award. To name just a few, Bob Leggett, Alan Davenport, Nordy Morgenstern, Vic Milligan, and Jack Mullard. I've been extremely fortunate in my career to have had great mentors, colleagues, and students. And at this time, I'd like to acknowledge the influence of just a few of the many who've helped shape my career. Even though many I'll mention have passed away, their influence and impact has not. Firstly, at the University of Sydney, there was Harry Poulos, who encouraged me to undertake graduate studies and subsequently to apply for the position at the University of Western Ontario, which brought me to Canada in 1978. And the late Ted Davis and John Booker, all of whom had a tremendous influence on my education both as a researcher and an engineer. Then I moved to the University of Western Ontario, where Kwan Yi Lo and the late Bob Quigley both were an enormous help to this, at that time, very young academic. In particular, it was Bob who convinced this pure geotechnical engineer on arriving in Canada that it might be worthwhile taking interest in landfills and contaminated soil, and so began my research into what is now called geoenvironmental engineering, long before that term was coined. I also greatly appreciate the collaboration with and support of my many colleagues at Western over my 21 years there. And finally, many thanks to the great team we've developed transforming geoengineering at Queen's University over the past 12 years, and especially to my colleague Ian Moore. I'd also like to express my appreciation for the benefits that I and many others have received from what I consider to be the pivotal role played by the learned societies that form the Engineering Institute of Canada. In my case, the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering, and especially the Canadian Geotechnical Society, have provided a wonderful opportunity to get to know and work beside colleagues from industry and academia from across the country. I believe that the tremendous international strength of Canadian engineering is, in large part, due to the role played by these societies over the last 125 years. And I believe that they will continue to be critical to the development of future generations of engineers in Canada. So I congratulate the EIC and CSCE for their work over the past 125 years. Though my family are unable to be with me here tonight, I'd like to express my appreciation to them, and especially to my wife, Kathy, for her support over the last 40 years. Finally, I thank you for being here tonight, and I wish you a very enjoyable evening. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Kerry Rowe. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the honors and awards of the Engineering Institute of Canada, and I would ask these honorees to stand at their place to be recognized one more time. Thank you for your attention, and I'll pass the proceedings over to Sylvie.
Merci beaucoup, Dan. That was Dan Burns, of course, chair of the EIC Awards and Honors Committee, accompanied by George Akras, member of his committee, of course, as well, the President-elect Jane Zhu, the EIC. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and Madame President-elect. Alors, félicitations à tous les lauréats à qui nous avons rendu hommage ce soir. And I'd like to invite Randy Pickle back to the podium, President of the Canadian Society for Civil Engineering, who would like to offer some closing remarks on behalf of the CSCE. Randy.
Thank you, Sylvie. Just one bit of housekeeping before I conclude my remarks is just to clarify for the young people, the young professionals that are still in the room and haven't wandered over to the Sherlock Holmes pub yet, the President's breakfast is at 7:30. There may be places in the proceedings where it's indicated as being at 7, but please note please join us for breakfast at 7:30 tomorrow morning, hosted by President-elect Jim Kells. So certainly on behalf of myself and the Board of Directors of CSC, we certainly wish our congratulations to all the new fellows of CSC, all the career winners of CSC, and those that have also been awarded fellowships, the civil engineers, the geotechnical engineers. You guys are really civil engineers. You just like to play in the dirt more than the rest of us. As well as the representatives from IEEE and CSME as well that were here tonight, and the career winner and the medal winners of EIC. It was a first for CSCE. We awarded the Government Leadership of Sustainable Infrastructure Award tonight. What Guy didn't inform you of is that there were 8 very good submissions, and it was very difficult for his panel to pick the City of Edmonton. And certainly congratulations to the City of Edmonton for being the first in obtaining this award. It was also a first for CSCE is that we awarded artwork instead of a plaque or a medal. And we look forward to working next year in Montreal with the art community of Quebec as we go forward with this award. And we hope that everybody else that's here representing a government agency thinks about what they've got going in the way of sustainable infrastructure and put together a submission next year for this award. So again, my congratulations to all the award winners tonight, and enjoy the rest of the evening and the conference.
Merci encore une fois, Randy. Thank you very much. And now, please welcome once again to the podium the President-elect of the EIC, Jean Su, to offer some final words from the EIC.
I promise to be short. So I wish to thank the Banquet CSCE EIC Liaison Committee, Sean Brown, Lloyd Wang, and John Plant for coordinating the awards, and also thank the 3 MCs, Dan Burns, Sylvie Bigras, and George Akran for simulating presentation. Finally, thanks CSCE for initiating this event and accommodating EIC in its planning and cooperation. So enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
It was not in the program. Vive the Canadian Society of Civil Engineering. Vive the Institute, the Engineering Institute of Canada. 125 years. We'll see you there. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Georges. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure sharing this evening with you, and congratulations to all of the award recipients. Félicitations à tous les lauréats de la soirée. Vos prix sont bien mérités. And I'd like to congratulate the Honors and Fellowships Committee from the CSCE and the EIC. There's a lot of hard work that goes into getting the submissions, going through them, and presenting the awards that you have seen this evening. I'd like to make a few housekeeping notes before we close for the evening. Firstly, all of the award recipients, we invite you to the right of the stage here at the front for some photos once we are all done. I have a note for you on the silent auction. We realized that actually as people were coming in that you got very little time to observe the art that was out there and bid on it. So what we've decided to do is to extend the silent auction this evening up till 10:30. Alors, les œuvres d'art qui sont à l'extérieur, vous allez pouvoir miser sur ces œuvres d'art jusqu'à 10h30, 22h30 ce soir. Remember that the silent auction proceeds do go to the artists themselves. Some of them, well, they are all young, emerging artists, and we'd like to support them. So we certainly invite you to all to go and view these amazing works of art, one of which is up here and obviously not up for auction as it is an award for the evening, but there are 4 out there, one of which is the People's Choice. It was an online voting process that chose it, and the artist won $1,000. And Karen Kneteman, who did this amazing art here, has won $4,000, but we'd also like to support the other artists. So please, as you're having a drink after the evening wrapped up, please take a look at the beautiful works of art, and we ask for you to bid. Randy's already mentioned that the breakfast tomorrow morning is indeed at 7:30. It does say 7 on these laminated cards, those of you who have them. Alors, les cocardes que vous avez reçues disent 7 heures demain matin pour le déjeuner du président. C'est à 7h30. Alors, n'arrivez pas trop tôt. We will be keeping the bars open for about another hour for those of you who wish to stay and continue to socialize. Alors, merci à vous tous de votre présence. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us this evening, and enjoy the rest of it. Merci et bonne soirée.